Hi, this is guitarist Denis Taaffe, and I want to welcome you to Bargain Bin Gear. And last time, we took a look at the Epiphone SG, and I noticed something on the Epiphone SG that may solve a problem for me that I've had, and that is with the in particular this one guitar that I have. The input jack is on the side, and let me show you that. Okay, this is the BootLegger Spade. It's a headless guitar, and I play this all the time because it's real light. Usually I'm on my couch and things, and just the way that it's created here with this kind of side here. Well, the input jack was here on the side, right? There's now a big hole in it, right? And that drove me crazy. And the reason is just the way the guitar is. You know, when you want to set it down and play it, you know, well, it's a perfect spot for your knee. The only problem is if the cable's there, you're scrunching up that cable. And it got to the point where I ruined a few cables. And on top of that, what really drove me crazy, eventually, well, the input jack was taking so much abuse that I had to resolder it 2 or 3 times. And the problem with the BootLegger Spade guitar input jack is it's made of this plastic. Okay? There's a little plastic plate which took no time to break off, basically. And the input jack, while the jack was metal, the actual nut that held it in place was freaking plastic, and it had this little plastic washer, and I can't tell you how many times I had to look for those things. They were so tiny and fragile, and you know, when you hit the cable, you know, and it messes with the input jack, you get this kind of thunderous noise type stuff going on, you know. So I said, well, enough of that. Now wait a minute. The Epiphone SG might have the solution, and that was an input jack on the front of the guitar, right? That way your knee could fit comfortably here, you know, and the input cable would never get in the way if it was on the front of the guitar. Now, and I actually have this modification done, right, on here. Okay, and there it is. You see that? Now the input jack is on the front of the guitar right there. And here, you see this, there's a nut, big old washer, I'm sorry, right there. And I wonder, well, wait a minute, what's that? And what it was is, I guess when they drilled into this wood to you know, to route out the position for the new input jack, and unfortunately it kind of split the wood a little bit. And so they put a washer there and remounted the tone control. And actually that's a good thing for me in particular, because one, I don't use the tone control that often. But beyond that, it was really loose for some reason, you know, and now it's real solid. Yeah, in fact, it's more solid than the volume control, quite frankly. So I may actually have a washer put under the front volume control as well. You know, just try to make it a little more solid. And I'm thrilled with the results. I mean, just even, you know, because usually I'm just laying on my couch, you know, and I pick up the guitar just to strum on it or whatever. Right? And And now I've got it where I can, you know, have it on my knee and not worry about the input cable. You don't need a strap, right? And you know, easy to play with it, just resting on your knee. And you'll notice that, you know, there's no noise from the cable or anything like that. Super. Wow, that's really great. Because before, constantly, you know, it was a real struggle. I tried right angle cables, and it was always a real struggle. And it would constantly get noise because the cable was being scrunched up. and it was messing with the input jack. Here it's real solid, it's out of the way, no problems. Now that does leave a gaping hole in the side where it used to be, right? See that? I suppose that's good if you want to get to the bottom of the input jack, but so I'll figure something out there, you know, maybe cover up that hole. And I suppose you could make the washer black in color, what have you. But believe it or not, I think I'm going to ask him to, you know, this is basically a guy I know type thing, you know, because I didn't have a drill bit for that. However, I think I may ask him to put another washer under the volume here. Because I'll tell you, I don't know if this will pick up on the camera. We can try. Well, that's gonna be difficult. Okay, well, anyway. But here, basically, I move that, and it's real solid. You know, it turns just fine. Doesn't move around. The volume has a little play in it. You know, which I really dislike. You know, it makes it feel real cheap, and you know. So I think I'm going to have that done under the volume as well. So I think what may have turned out to originally be a mistake is actually a good thing, because I think that would make quite a bit of difference, you know. So basically, you've got, here's the tone control, it's with the washer, and then there's the volume. So I put another washer under here, really make that volume knob more solid, you know. And now, from what I understand, you know, if you buy a bootlegger guitar, you know, chances are the tone and volume will be more solid to begin with. Well, in this particular one, for whatever reason, it has a little bit of play in there, which I really dislike. But I like the guitar so much that I bought it from my friend who loaned it to me originally, and I'm sure he had that intention to begin with, you know. I just really like this guitar very much, you know, and it's real light, doesn't take up much space, and that kind of thing. It just needs a few more details ironed out, and one of the big ones was, for me, the jack on the front of the guitar, and then the tone and volume controls be a little more solid, you know. And one of the best things of all, got rid of that cruddy plastic nut that was holding the input jack. That drove me crazy. You know, you try to tighten it, it wouldn't stay tight, and just bad news all around. So there you go. And now we'll find something to cover that up with. I don't know. But I highly recommend these if you haven't checked them out. The BootLegger Spade guitar. Real nice. The pickups are really great. straight into the amps here. Very nice. So there we go. There's the BootLegger Modification. Highly recommended. If you've got one of these, you may want to consider that if you're having problems with the input jack. I just got sick and tired of, ruining cables and having to resolder the jack every couple days. Enough of that. So now that's really worthwhile. And a bonus, whereas there's a little play in the volume and tone controls, with that new washer, it's really solid. It's not going anywhere. So I may have that done to the volume too. Turn what could have been a mishap into something more positive. Very good. Okay, I'm very pleased. It's a minor modification, granted, but for me it makes all the difference in the world, because I play this guitar quite often, and every time, every once in a while you get this thunderous noise, and it's because, the cable getting scrunched up, usually my knee was against it or that kind of thing, so it's kind of scrunched up the cable and kind of was putting a lot of stress on that input jack to the point where I had to resolder and those kinds of things. Anyway, so there we go, and this idea came to me just from the Epiphone SG, right, that we did a video of a while back, so there you go. Alright, very good. See you next time. Bye.